Welcome back, everybody. On today's short episode, I'm going to do a small review on Tough Mudder and the SC-1 high gloss coatings. So I have yet to try this stuff, but I have tried this a few times and I want to give an honest review on it. I shall show you the circumstances of what condition the Maverick is in right now. It hasn't been washed in 3 weeks. I've rode it twice since then, got stuck in mud, so everything has had time to dry and get caked on. I'll take you through the process of using the foam cannon that I use on my pressure washer. I'll probably, most times with the Tough Mudder, going over twice, hitting it initially first, getting everything off, and then hitting it again. Kind of gets in there to the stuff that you normally can't get to on the first wash. So I'll show you real quick the very muddy condition that this thing is in. It was out in the rain for a little bit, so it washed some of it off. You can see in here everything's kind of caked. It's been raining here, so everywhere we go is covered in mud. Big mud holes, big cool places to play. So, machine's a little dirty, but I don't think it's not anything that we can't clean up. I'm gonna pull the roof off and get the inside real good too. As you can see, I've been riding without a windshield because it's been so muddy and I don't have mud flaps yet. Alright, so simple and easy enough. Hook the foam cannon up. Start it up. Now we're going to do a nice even coat and let it sit for a little bit. And then I'll wash it off and then do another coat. Okay, so the first round is done. I usually typically just let it sit here and soak for about 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes a little less than that, depends on the circumstances. But since this has been sitting for a little bit and hasn't been washed, I'm going to let it sit here and soak in real good. and then we shall see how the first pressure wash does. Alright, so we have approximately about 25 minutes in this last pressure wash. This was actually the first one after the first coat. As you can see, the sun went out a little bit, so don't have as much light. But all the mud and buildup that was in here, mass majority of it is gone. The sides, the insides, all fairly sprayed off pretty quickly. We got some corners in here that I need to hit. I'll go back over. I'm gonna let it dry off for approximately about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna hit it with the second coat of the Tough Mudder. It's not bad. The stuff works out pretty well. I'm happy with it. Did look pretty rough before. So like I said, I'm gonna let it dry off for a little bit. Then I'm gonna add coat number 2. Then I'm gonna spray it off and then dry it off, and we'll see how the SC-1 does. Okie dokie. Coat number 2 is complete. Gonna let it sit and soak for a little bit. It doesn't look nearly as fancy as all the videos that everybody else makes, where it's got like a gazillion amounts of foam. Foam dissipates pretty quick, but it's actually doing its job rather well. So, coat number 2 is up. Then I'm gonna rinse it off, and then we'll head over and let it sit and dry for a little bit before we do the SC-1 coating. So the second wash is complete. Took probably about 10 minutes or so. Make sure you get in there and all them nook and crannies, little places where you might have missed with the mud, get it all up and out. It's not bad. Total process less than an hour. Sometimes I've spent as much as 2 hours pressure washing this thing, depending on how much mud I've got into prior to that. Now I typically usually wash it right after every ride, but this go around I was going to get a couple rides under it, let it sit and see how well this stuff does. Now what I'm going to do is probably take it down the street for a small ride, let it dry out, and then let it sit here in the sunlight for a little bit, and then I shall apply the SC-1. Alright, so we got it dried off. I'm going to apply some SC-1. If you look here, the plastics kind of look dingy. So we'll try this out. Direction says spray it on, let it soak for 60 seconds. If you want to keep the mud and rubber released, you leave it wet after spray. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to apply some, let it sit for a little bit, and then I'm going to wipe it down and see what it does to the plastic, to see what it looks like. I'm going to just go ahead and spray down the whole front end.
It smells pretty good.
Yeah, it don't smell bad.
Like a cotton candy smell.
Glad it don't stink, because that wouldn't be a party. Alright, so this side sat for a little bit longer than 60 seconds. Take a microfiber, wipe it down. Now obviously it doesn't eliminate scratches, but Doesn't look too bad. Now if you can tell the shine on this side versus the back, it's still got the dull dinginess. Now I'm going to go over the whole machine and see how much shinier this stuff makes it, as long as we can work with the sunlight. I went ahead and coated this side, so I'm going to wipe it down and do the whole thing. So now we got the whole thing coated down. It's all shiny. You can choose to wipe the plastics down if you want to. I'm actually going to let mine soak in. We're supposed to go out tomorrow, so I'll make another video to see how much easier this helps make cleanup. So if you like today's video, and you have a product that you want me to try as a recommendation or such, just shoot me a link, drop it in the comments, and I'll try it out and give you a good honest review. Anyways, hope this helps somebody with their cleanup issues whenever they go out doing off-road stuff. Anyways, peace out everybody.